Hello everyone, and welcome back to another speed building video. Today we're going to be doing just an interior today for an apartment in San Myshuno. This is the one 1131021 Chic Street. I just tried to read it in the corner, but if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, then make sure you grab yourself a drink, a snack, a blanket, get comfy, and let's get into it. So this is actually the apartment that is right across from Penny Pizzazz. If you guys have the City Living expansion pack, you will have the world of San Myshuno, which is the world that I'm currently building in. And yeah, so for today's video, I'm going to be doing a kind of dorm room type of style for I'm envisioning two male roommates, but as always, if those aren't the Sims you want living here, feel free to change it, make whatever changes you would like to. I just personally envisioned it being like two guys living in this apartment. Now, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my boyfriend because he's actually the one who gave me this idea, and thank God he did because I really like how this turned out. So boyfriend, if you're watching, thank you. But yeah, so pretty much the concept that we came up with, or I guess he came up with, is that there's one roommate who's kind of like a slob, literally doesn't care how the apartment looks, kind of just hangs out in his room all the time or is out, like he doesn't really care about any other room in the house, and he's very messy. But the other roommate is actually like, I'm envisioning someone who's in like the science degree kind of area or like engineering or something, but they're trying their hardest to make this dorm room apartment thing feel like a home, despite their roommates' efforts to make it not feel like that. And so pretty much I just took whatever kind of like random items I could find to use as like decoration, or like a lot of these things I wanted it to look like maybe they're secondhand because, you know, they're university students, so they probably don't have a lot of cash to be spending on like furniture and things like that. So I'm thinking it's all like secondhand, everything's like a little bit dingy, and the decorations are all very random. I have like this butler statue here, I've got a whole bunch of gnomes, I have like a duck statue. And yeah, so that's pretty much the whole concept for this build, is just kind of like a very rough attempt at a homey feeling dorm room. You guys can let me know if I executed that well or not, but I pretty much want it to be like a guy who doesn't really know how to decorate attempting to make his dorm room appealing. And I'm kind of envisioning that this sim has a crush on Penny Pizzazz, and that maybe he's like making his apartment, I guess, homey to impress Penny Pizzazz, because she, like I mentioned, she lives right across from the apartment that I'm building in right now. And so yeah, I think that that's a really fun storyline, and I really like how all the decorations came out and everything like that. So this idea was all courtesy of my boyfriend. I just executed it, and I think it came out really cute. And otherwise, I'm not sure I would have really built a like apartment like this, but I did, and once again, I'm very happy I did. So there is like a ridiculous amount of clutter in this apartment, like an insane amount. I think maybe there's one surface that's empty, and that's the kitchen countertop that you need to be empty so that your Sims can cook on it. But I actually ended up putting a lava lamp on there, so hopefully it works. I'll try to remember to play test, but honestly, at this point, you guys should know how lazy I am. Like, I hate taking screenshots. I hate, playtesting my build. I just want to build, and call it quits. But if I can remember, I will try. But if you are having any issues with your Sims not being able to cook, just try deleting all of the clutter items on one of the counters, and it should work perfectly fine. And if it doesn't, then I think it's a Sims 4 bug, because I'm not sure what else could be stopping it. But yeah, so that's just like a little tip. If you guys are ever struggling where your Sims are like waving their hands in the air when you try to get them to cook, like chances are you just need to empty up a counter space and then they can cook freely. And yeah, so for the furniture I'm using, I'm going to try my best to remember where everything's from. But to start off, the console table that I'm using for the TV, I think that's from the holiday pack or seasons. And it's like this tablecloth just over a table. And I felt like that was very much giving like somebody who's trying to make their place feel cozy and homey, but it looks kind of like tacky, I guess. And that table kind of directed the whole color scheme for this build. So I went with a lot of like warmer yellow, greens, and orange tones. Just to kind of push that homey feel, I guess. The rug I'm using is from Growing Together, which really ties everything together, hence the name. Yeah, and then the couch is from City Living. This is the one that you can unlock when you go to like the flea market. In San Myshuno, there's like these flea market festivals, and you can purchase, you know, various items. You can get this lamp, which I've put in the corner by the TV, as well as this couch, and they just look kind of more worn and dingy. And so that's why I decided to place in here. And then that beat up recliner is from Werewolves. And then I used a base game dining room table and some chairs from Werewolves. Now, I used these chairs from Werewolves because I was thinking that maybe originally they had this white table and they had these brown chairs, and the sim, in an attempt to make everything feel more cohesive and I guess just more united and to make it look like a matching table and chairs, I feel like they decided to paint the brown chairs white, but they didn't do such a good job because, you know, art isn't their strong suit, or like painting isn't their strong suit, and so you can see like bits of the, you know, wood coming through and whatnot. So I think it's either like they did a horrible painting job, no offense to the sim, or maybe the paint they use isn't meant to be long lasting. Maybe they use like dollar store paint and it's just kind of been chipping away each time everyone sits on it. And I just thought that was like a really like small detail, but something that kind of really made the build come together just for the kind of storyline that we had envisioned. And I used like the kind of dingier looking wallpaper from City Living, and then I added a bunch of Werewolves wall decals to kind of make it look like the wallpaper is peeling away in spots. And in certain areas, I'll try to make it look like the sim is covering it up, but otherwise I'll just kind of leave it like in the entryway. And something I do want to touch on is I actually ended up using the tool mod, and I put this mirror kind of angled against the wall. And then I took this base game little wooden knob and I shrunk it down using the left bracket key to kind of make it look like a nail, and then I put like a hammer and a little toolbox from Growing Together, and I put that against the wall to make it look like the sim is about to hang up the mirror, but they haven't got around to it yet. Now I will say that I got this idea from Jessica Pye, who I think got it from someone else, but I can't quite remember who. If you guys know, by all means, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, she did this with a picture frame, and I thought that would be such a good idea for like the sim who's in progress of trying to make their place feel a bit more homey and loved, I guess. And yeah, so I think that turned out super cute, and I really do enjoy how that looks. And what else did I end up adding? I put a couple of different wall items above the dining room table. I put like a little flag that we got from Get Together that's has like a club logo on it. I just picked the bear one because it fit the color scheme the best, and I like how kind of like dingy that one looks as well. It looks like definitely a little bit dirty. And I also put a neon light up there, which I feel like was maybe the one addition that the other roommate in this house decided to add. They're like, I have this super cool neon light, like it needs to go up, maybe something like that, I don't know. But I also ended up putting a little poster, I think. I can't quite remember. You guys will have to, I don't know, register it yourself. Like I say this in every single speed build, but I'm always like watching myself do this footage, and you know I've built it, so you would think I'd be able to like know everything that I have put in this build, but alas, I cannot, and I don't think I ever will be able to. But you guys will have seen it, and if not, you can, you know, go back a couple seconds to see what I put on the wall, but I don't think it's too big of a deal if you missed it. And in the living room, I also used this little like surfboard kind of decoration, which is from Island Living, and I actually rotated it around because it has like a whole bunch of little Polaroid pictures on the back, and I thought that was so cute. And maybe like these sim kind of, or maybe they're not Polaroids, they're like stickers or something, but I feel like maybe the sim has collected them and just kind of thrown them on the back of the surfboard. And yeah, so you've seen that I've kind of just finished up the kitchen now, and I'm moving on to the bathroom, but I'll touch on the kitchen first. So I went with these base game cabinets. I didn't want to use these ones, but you know, I can't keep using my favorite base game counters every single time. Like I gotta switch it up. And so I went with these, which are technically higher end ones because they've got like that marble countertop, but I was kind of hoping like if you wanted to, you could pretend it's kind of like that granite laminate, like not that real genuine granite countertop, but you know, maybe you don't, but in certain like places, I know in my apartment, I've got that like that fake granite laminate. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just like on top of a board. And so maybe you could pretend it's like that instead of genuine marble, because if they have marble countertops, then oh my goodness, don't know how they're affording that. But yeah, and I tried to clutter up every single counter, like I mentioned, even put like little bits of food and like takeout containers and cartons and things like that. And I also put a whole bunch of like sticky notes and just, I don't know, other notes and stuff, because I really wanted it to look like the sim, like the scientist sim who's trying to make this place feel like a home is constantly leaving sticky notes to his roommate to be like, hey, can you please clean this up? Like, I'm making an effort to make the place feel nice. Like, please clean up after yourself. And the other roommate just does not care. He doesn't even pick up the notes to throw them out. Like, he's got like his hats in there, he leaves food out, he leaves the milk carton out, and I feel like the other roommate is just losing his mind. And so he just leaves sticky notes everywhere in the attempt that his roommate will one day listen to him. And yeah, so I thought that was a super cute idea. I also ended up putting some more of those sticky notes on the mirror. And if you're curious, those are actually from the Parenthood debug menu. They're actually like the category for them is like, this is a blank thing or something. Then when you click on it, it's actually blank, like you don't see anything. But if you use Ctrl 9 and raise it up, you will eventually see a sticky note, and it comes in a bunch of different colors. They're meant to go on that, like the Parenthood, what's it called? Like the parent board. I don't know how to describe it, but where you can set like the curfew and leave notes and things like that. That's what they're from. So I just ended up putting those everywhere just so this sim can, you know, get his anger out a little bit, but in a passive aggressive way, because he would never actually confront his roommate about the mess he's making. Actually, I feel like that's not true. I feel like he definitely does confront him and his roommate just doesn't care. But I was thinking that the roommate, who's a bit of a slob, is kind of big into like anime and video games, and I definitely feel like they're an Ozu player. So I tried to like hint to that throughout their bedroom, and I just put like a whole bunch of stuff on the floor and everything to really make it feel messy, and like they're in their room a lot and they don't really leave their room too much unless it's to like go to the kitchen or maybe use the TV. But yeah, now you will see that I've moved on into the last bedroom and last room. This is a very short video, one I actually think my shortest by far. But yeah, so this is the room for who I'm believing is like a wannabe scientist or engineer or something like in those lines, or maybe like a mechanic or something. But this is also the sim who's trying to make their dorm room feel more not lived in, but well loved is also not the word. Cozy. There we go. Like comfortable and cozy. And yeah, so this is their room. I used a bed from Horse Ranch, a base game dresser, base game table, base game desk chair. The laptop I'm using is from, where's the laptop from? Strangerville. Yes. And for the other roommate, I forgot to mention, but that bed is from Parenthood, and I use it in like the black and lightning bolt swatch. And then the posters are base game and high school years. And then coming back into this room, we have a Parenthood dresser and a base game mirror, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to finish cluttering up the little desk area, making it feel very lived in and cozy. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it was a short video, but I will have some longer ones up very soon. But as always, if you have any comments or suggestions, things you want to see me build, make sure you leave it in the comments below. And also give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see some more content. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all in my next Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys!